Hey traders, welcome back to another Sunday video where we prepare for the week ahead. And I've been doing this new segment where I start out the week just going over my personal trading performance. I mean, I think that this is not always easy to do, to put yourself out there and to show results. But I believe in my position as an influencer in the space. I think transparency is cool. And if you guys appreciate this and would like me to continue to do that, do me a quick favor and just hit the thumbs up button on the video as we get started. We will take a look at some setups for this week and just to start out. So here's something I should be clear. If you go back last week, you'll see that this number was much larger. I actually had an incredible month of June so far, but gave back some profits last week. Last week we had a couple things go against me, some not so great trading, which has knocked us from, I think at one point we were like 31K in profits. We have gone now by a margin back down. So still floating a really good month and can't complain. This is going to happen sometimes, but well, actually, it happens often in trading. Let's be completely honest. Sometimes you have really great months and they pull back to be moderate months. This is still a very good month, though. So I cannot complain at all. And let's also take a look now as well at the year-to-date results on this account. Year-to-date, we're up 20% on this account, which is a profit of $78,000 on this account. Now, again, this is one of my accounts. I have several, but this is one of the flagship ones that I use when it comes to the trade alert service that we offer. I share all of my trades, as you can see in the top right here. We share all of our trade alerts inside of the Discord. And again, the reason I show these is also because I do offer a service where people can see the trades that I'm taking. And if you are signing up to look over the shoulder of what I'm doing, we're not encouraging copying, but many people ask for this level of transparency and we try and deliver. So if you're interested in this, again, you can get a discount right now. Our half off sale is ending this week. So if you're not already in the Discord, come join us. The action is awesome. We've been having a lot of good stuff here this year, as you saw from the performance. And now let's jump into some setups. All right, guys, and first on the list today is going to be the US dollar. So we're looking at the DXY. This is the dollar index, and the dollar index has been trading down here the last few weeks, but this past week, again, we had a pop to the upside, and I've talked about this. I talked about this on the live streams on Friday. If you're a regular viewer, you watch the live streams throughout the week as well. You know, we talked about how the dollar had a nice little pop here, and it does look like it has short-term, potentially some room to run. Now, I will talk about a position that I have on in a moment. It's an S&P trade that was not so benefited from this bullishness. I remember I mentioned that I gave back some profits last week. We'll be showing a trade in this video that is a losing trade for me. Actually, maybe more than one. I've got two trades. Yeah, two trades I can show you guys that are unprofitable currently. We'll get to those in a moment. And the dollar, again, broke higher here. Nice little push to the upside. I was betting against this. I was betting that we would continue. We did not quite see that, but this breakout is an impressive one. But again, the dollar is still in a longer term downtrend. I think fundamentally there's still bearish factors on the dollar that are coming into play. I think that we are reaching the end of the rate hiking cycle. And I think that, you know, with that curve from the Fed coming, I think that eventually the dollar will continue or persist to push lower. You know, we saw on the higher time frames here, or on the 4-hour chart zoomed out, you can see we had a multiple top reading around 104.4. We started to trend down. The question will be now, you know, as we pull back, are we going to get some sort of 50% retracement off these highs? In which case, I'm eyeing the areas around 103.4. I'm not necessarily looking to short, as I like to be trading this sort of style where the 4 hour is just trending nicely. I'll participate if I see that sort of thing, but not so much at these current levels. So I'm watching to see if we get reaction. And again, for bearish continuation stuff, I'm going to need breakouts to downside. So I mentioned a couple things. Let's talk about my S&P 500 trade real quick. So I thought we would get a bigger reaction here to this level. And you can see we initially did. Price pushed up, pulled back, and broke underneath my level. Now, my stop loss is just underneath. In fact, let me show you my trade. All right, and we're back on the brokerage side of things. So this is my Webull account. For those of you guys who are in the United States, there is a cool link down below in the description for you. You get free shares if you use my link to sign up for Webull. I use this to trade the S&P and gold. It's just what I've always done and what I prefer to do. But anyways, And also, I should say, reason for that is because as a U.S. client, we can't trade CFDs. We are not. That is illegal for U.S. clients. You can do it offshore brokerage kind of style, but I personally stick away from that with larger amounts of capital. I am looking to stay on regulated, safe entities, like TD Ameritrade or Webull or Robinhood or any of those that are, sort of U.S. regulated entities. Anyways, so price pulls back, and I figured I could probably pick it up here and just bet on the continuation. We did initially get a push off this area, but then price came back down, and like I said, it is testing the limits of my stop loss. If price breaks lower this week, I'll be stopped out for probably about a $1,200 loss. You can see I'm floating around a minus 767 trade on this one. So I'm still bullish, and I still would like to be bullish on the S&P, and I'll be watching this one closely. So we'll see if this level can hold. If it cannot, I will be stopped out, like I said. If you look at the daily chart, truthfully, it does look like it may have more room to fall. And so if I do get stopped out, I may look to re-enter at a deeper retracement. Perhaps the 4,300 level will catch my attention here. Again, I'd like to buy, I'm bullish on this thing. I think that there is more upside to the S&P 500. But perhaps the market's just taking a breather here before continuing up. We'll see if I'm correct about that. We also could completely just sell off if the Fed continues to be very, very hawkish and says, hey, we're going to rate hike 3 times instead of just the 2 that they keep touting. Market is sort of expecting 1. So we'll see how that plays out. Speaking of some data, let's jump into some stuff here. Quickly, we'll take a look at the COT report data. You guys love to take a look at this each week. People always ask me to pull it up, so let's take a look at the COT as of late. This is the latest stuff we've got. So let's take a quick look here. I like to always kind of pay attention to gold. That is one of my favorite things to look at for COT. All right, so COT data, we saw an increase in longs on gold. We saw a slight decrease in shorts. This is a bullish week for gold. If you're looking at the US dollar, we saw decreases in shorts, decreases in longs, so just kind of position moving out. Take a look at the euro. Big increase in shorts, slight increase in longs as well. Let's see if we can get any noticeable stuff here. Let's see. I'm trying to look just for big pushes one direction. SPX. Okay. Decreases in shorts, decreases in longs. Perhaps money just being taken off the table. That's an interesting sort of week there. Let's take a look at other U.S. indices for a moment. Slight increase on both for Dow. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ pretty split. So you had minus 20,000 approximately contracts in both directions. By the way, these are contracts that we're looking at that change. This data, this is called the Smart Money Tracker. Our company builds software tools for traders, A1 Trading. If you look us up on Google, on YouTube, anywhere, my company builds software for traders, and we specialize in all sorts of sort of just key economic figures, as well as the commitment of traders and retail client sentiment. We take a look at all of it and we build it into a single tool for traders. If you're interested in getting access to this, you can actually get access to the EDGEFINDER right now. There's a link down below in the description. And if you use code YTVIP, you can get it for a massive discount. It comes with our Smart Money Tracker, the Retail Sentiment Indicator, so on and so forth. And also, guys, I mentioned it earlier, and I know people are probably getting tired of me saying it, but I say it for the people who are just tuning in or interested in getting access to VIP and haven't heard about it. We are ending our 50% off VIP group sale. You can currently get 50% off any of our memberships using the code YTVIP. There's a link down below in the description if that's something you're interested in. You get access to all of our entry and exit signals, breakdowns on every trade, coaching webinars, and our strategy library. And also, I should say, you can actually bundle it with the EDGEFINDER if you're thinking about it. You can get the EDGEFINDER 50% off if you purchase a membership. All of the information for that will be linked down below in the description in case you'd like to check that out. Let's take a look now at retail sentiment as well. Retail sentiment gives us an idea as to what the retail crowd is thinking. And we could take a look at indices, and we'll add commodities as well. So give us a little mix of everything. Dollar yen, German 30, pound USD, NAS, and SPX. These are things that retail traders are very much shorting. Okay, so that's a bullish signal for these assets if I'm reading it the way we read it, which is contrarian to what retail traders are doing. On the flip side, dollar CAD, US oil, Aussie dollar, dollar Swiss, NZD USD, and gold. These are things retail traders are buying right now. So I've been interested in gold, but this is going to be a deterrent, right? As retail traders picking up a long position on gold is probably going to keep me to the sidelines for now. We'll take a look at gold here and on the chart here for a second. Let's take a look at XAUUSD here. We had sort of a really interesting week, I would say, in terms of price action last week. Really bearish week, I would say, for gold. I mean, you even had a big push off the lows that we were forming, but the market just did not have it. They pushed it back down towards the end of the week, rejecting beautifully our area of resistance that we marked during the live stream. So you can see price just absolutely crumbled back down. And gold just does not look healthy right now for bulls, in my personal opinion. And I am bullish on gold fundamentally. I would like to be a gold buyer. But right now, with central banks sort of poising themselves for more rate hikes and being aggressive in their tightening cycles, we saw the Bank of England see high levels of inflation, which encouraged them to raise rates by 50 basis points compared to the 25. So they were supposed to go 25, or at least that was the expectations. We got 50 last week from Bank of England. So we're seeing this trend here from central banks that they're going to raise rates to continue to fight inflation. That the gold market does not like. That is bearish, heavy bearish fundamentals for the short term. What I'm looking for and what I mentioned is I'm interested in seeing gold in the short term, I'm actually almost sell biased, but in the longer term, I do think that the bullish case returns, right? If you start to see central banks easing off the gas, that is where I will be looking to buy gold again. But I do not have any positions on gold. If anything, in the short term, I would be bearish. Price action looked bearish, and the latest headlines and market direction seems to be bearish for the metals market. Same thing with silver, right? Silver, which I'll show you guys here in a second. I've got a trade open on silver. This one I'm willing to be longer term in nature with, and that is why I do actually have a trade open on silver. I'll show you this. Okay, and we're back. All right, so I have two trades open on silver. These are options trades, and I know that not everyone in my audience pays attention to options trades, but essentially I am bullish on silver. Okay, I'm bullish on silver. I've sold two puts. One is in the money, and what that means is that this option can be exercised, and the owner of that option could actually buy 300 shares at $21.50 per share. I am the seller, meaning this, if they were to assign their contracts, their put, I would actually have to purchase shares at $21.50. Doesn't sound too hot when the price is only at $20.60, right? But that's what selling puts has to do. So I actually have two trades open. Both of them are in the red, one more so than the other. But again, I am bullish on silver, and I won't mind picking up the shares if I have to. For those of you guys who are familiar with options, essentially this means I have to buy the shares at this price should the buyer of the put exercise their right to do so. I know it's a little bit complicated. I do have a video on that subject that I put out this past week, so feel free to check that out if you want to learn more about my options trading strategy. It's very kind of slow and steady options trading that I am personally interested in, selling cash secured puts, that sort of thing. You can look that up on your own time as well. Anyways, silver itself had a tough week, and in terms of price action, we saw a major, look how many red candles we saw here. The metals market is just under fire with all this central bank stuff, and silver certainly is not exempt. So where is it going? Well, do I think it's going lower? Honestly, I think short term it very well could. My puts and my options trading strategy is inherently more longer term, so I'm not really too worried about the short term price action. But short term, I do think the metals market is under pressure. Silver and gold both look weak, and like I said, I think that if anything in the short term there may be sell side opportunities to look out for. So perhaps even silver makes a move back up here, and sellers take advantage of it again. So again, that's where we're at with that. We'll take a look at the euro now as well. So Euro kind of lost its thunder last week. The dollar came in strong here towards the end of the week. Again, after Jerome Powell essentially doubled down on, hey, we're going to see two more rate hikes, right? And the market's still kind of thinking one. So if he continues to be persistent in his two rate hikes this year, this is really putting a damper on people who thought that the market may even see rate cuts this year. Anyways, the euro kind of fell out of favor here, and in my opinion, this pullback looks like a technical sell. Now, of course, in terms of fundamentals, I don't necessarily just I don't have a strong preference on this pair, especially with the dollar being so strong, as we mentioned, just breaking out this past week. I'd like to wait for some sort of breakout to the downside. In terms of setups on euro, I don't really have any myself at this time unless we start to trend back up and we start breaking and retesting. That's one side of the thing. Like I said, trade setups for me right now, gold looks like, in my opinion, a short-term selling opportunity as we rise back up into this area until we get something from central banks that is more on the dovish side. Like I said, this breakout is hard to deny in terms of short-term sell opportunities, in my personal view. So gold is one that I'm watching this week. And we'll see. Let's also take a look at the EDGEFINDER's watch list signals tab. We can take a look at what it's got on our radar. So again, one thing that's probably a little bit concerning here is that you have, a lot of things here. We've got a lot of sells, we've got a lot of buys. So let's take a look. We got EURUSD on the sell side opportunity, signal there, -3. That's a kind of a weak sell score. Let's take a look at some of the more extremes. You got EuroCAD here as a strong sell. Let's go take a look at EuroCAD. And, again, you can pause the video if you'd like to take a look across the top of the screen. These are the different categories that our software, the EDGEFINDER, scores an asset based on. So we've got retail sentiment, the commitment of traders data, seasonal trends, trend readings, etc. Anyways, EuroCAD is one that has a pretty strong sell rating right now. And you can see beautifully broken retest at this on a very granular level. Push to the downside here, and this chart looks pretty weak to me. You could look at this on a daily chart and you can kind of see what's going on here. You had a big push to the upside here, followed by a breakout this past week. This is daily charts, so this thing looks like it's poised to go back down to the lows. We'll see if that happens. But again, EuroCAD looking like kind of a weak currency pair. We could take a look at some other things. Dollar yen actually coming in as a strong buy. The yen has just been on fire recently. I have not taken this trade alert or haven't paid attention to this one very much recently. I've been trading a lot of gold and indices. Of course, in hindsight, shoulda, coulda, woulda been trading this off the EDGEFINDER. It's been a strong buy for quite a while now. And so, probably some opportunities there that perhaps members or other people using the EDGEFINDER are taking advantage of, but I was not paying attention to dollar yen. Anyways, dollar yen, this chart looks so bullish, right? It's looking so strong. Part of this is it makes a lot of sense when you understand the fundamentals. And again, we talk about this often. Many people who watch my videos, we're going to do an experiment here. So many people who watch my videos, they pay attention to fundamentals, and other people do not, but they enjoy the technical aspects and they enjoy just kind of hearing commentary and fundamentals. I would love to ask you guys something really quick. So we do this in the chat, in the comment section pretty recently. I enjoy doing it a lot. Help me out. This is going to be a fun experiment. If you made it this far in the video, if you're 17 minutes, 57 seconds or whatever into this video, do me a quick favor. If you use fundamentals in your analysis, I want you to comment the word hawk, okay? As in hawkish. And if you do not, if you're like, nah, I don't really use fundamentals to actually make my decisions, which is fine. We accept all people on this channel. Type dove. So hawkish and dovish, obviously you have bullish and bearish, hawkish and dovish. Someone who works for me who is not involved in trading at all made a comment recently, said, you traders are weird. You guys use some weird phrasings. And honestly, I can't deny it. Hawk, dove, bull, bear. We have all of this jargon. Anyways, do me a favor, guys. If you made it this far, comment hawk or dove. If you use fundamentals or no fundamentals, comment your selection there in the chat. It's cool. It's cool to see you guys. And I'll try to heart your comment just to thank you for making it so far in the video. Dollar yen, like I said, pullbacks look strong. I would be probably a buyer if anything. Just in the short term, stops on this would be pretty tight. But again, it looks like it has a lot of opportunity to continue higher. I can't buy it up here, right? I've got to wait for that healthy pullback. Perhaps I could take an attempt here, and if that doesn't work, an attempt here at 142. So 142.8 and 142 look interesting for possible pullback plays. Just going with the momentum here. Another pair a lot of people have been talking about is pound yen. Pound yen really strong. And I love this one fundamentally. You have the UK versus Japan. And when we talk about the divergence here in central banks, this is a pretty good example of a very hawkish central bank versus a very dovish central bank. These guys looking to not raise rates at all, and these guys being forced to raise rates with super high levels of inflation. I like GJ to the long side fundamentally. Pullbacks. Is this one on the EDGEFINDER? Let's see. It is not. Let's go see what's holding back. What is on the EDGEFINDER that is holding back GJ from getting a long side trade? COT data looks very bullish. Retail sentiment. Oh, you know what? So also, for those of you guys who use the EDGEFINDER, keep very close attention to, Frank is currently working on something. If you guys are regulars, you know Frank is our EDGEFINDER guru. Him and I work on the back end, and we have a designer as well, or a developer as well, that we work to build this software. Anyways, inflation scoring is going to be changing coming soon. This is actually we after much debate, we decided that inflation at a recent uptick in inflation, high 8.7, this is actually more of a fundamentally bullish factor to the currency. And so we are going to make this adjustment. Currently, inflation gets a -1 reading. I think that this is could be improved. Currently, we just say, which one has a lower inflation? Okay, this one, give this one the score of +1. In this case, pound yen gets a -1 due to the yen being the quote unquote winner. But I think the new way of calculating will be much better. We're actually going to be changing that formula to make this bullish. So in fact, this would be, with our new calculation once we have it, it would be actually a +1. Regardless, it's not quite implemented yet. We're still working on the algorithm behind the scenes. All the scoring that goes into this stuff is it gets complicated sometimes. So that's why we have Frank helping us out. Anyways, that should be a bullish reading, and it will be probably this week once we get the calculations going. So anyways, Bitcoin also showed up here as a buy. This is an interesting one. I actually have been in a bullish setup, and let me show you guys. I'll show you my BTC USD. I've got a position on Bitcoin. I have had it for a bit. To be completely transparent, it was in the red for a while. This was more of a position trade, a longer term position that I shared inside of our Discord channel. And here we are inside the Discord channel. Just for context, I show all of my trades inside of the Discord. I mentioned this earlier. If you guys would like to get trade alerts from me and Frank, both of us share all of our trades. I share my options trades if you're into that, position trades, like my Bitcoin. And also, yeah, here's the Bitcoin. We were celebrating a little bit of that pop recently. I'm also in a Euro Swiss position. It's a longer term trade for me. Well, potentially longer term. I'm willing to build. But then also we have the standard traditional stuff where I'm entering exits, I trail stops, I update with full breakdowns and analysis. If you guys want in on this and you're serious and you made it this far in the video, I want to tell you about how you get 50% off for the last time, probably this year. We're going to do 50% off our memberships. If you want access, the link is down below in the description. Use code YTVIP and you'll get 50% off any of our memberships. Even if you want to just try us out for a month, take advantage down below. Thanks guys for watching. Have a great week this week.